So I mean, the gold mine of information in JFK. What's great is that Oliver Stone presents you with a lot of facts. Then he gives you some supposition. These facts might mean this, but why don't you go off and do your own digging? And that line as well is in the movie. Donald Sutherland says it. You know, do your own digging. Stir the shitstorm. You know, and that's that's one of the things I like about the movie. It doesn't. You can argue about Oliver Stone's politics all you want, but as a filmmaker, this I think is a superb narrative. It got me so interested in the subject. I mean, I went out buying books, this, that, and the other, for weeks afterwards, and it really weighed on my mind. My father was very passionate about JFK. He really liked him as a world leader, and I remember the first time he talked about the assassination, which was around the time we saw the Martin Sheen thing, which was 11 years before this came out. He got very angry straight away, very angry. You know, they murdered him. They murdered him. He used to shout. And you know, my father was very adamant that he was murdered from day one. He never believed it. And I think despite the disinformation that was out at the time, despite the lack of social media, and despite this huge campaign to pin everything on Oswald, although a lot of people bought into that, you've got my father in a foreign country working in London, I think at the time Kennedy was killed. And he told me, when we talked about it, no one believed that Oswald did it in that time, when he would talk among friends, and, you know, he would meet a lot of different people because he worked in a shop in Regent Street. They had all kinds of customers coming in. And he said, the consensus was that the official version was bullshit, even before it all became debated in books and films and things. So it's interesting that even then there was such division about what actually happened.
I mean, there's even people in the chat that seem to be convinced it was a lone gunman. I'm not quite sure how Oswald from Beyond the Grave was able to pack the Warren Commission. I'm not quite sure how Oswald got the motorcade route changed. It simply wasn't that one 24-year-old guy. It just could not have been. Okay, so of course he was murdered. Yeah, it's the same as saying Epstein just killed himself and there's nothing more to see. Or the World Trade Center 7 fell down because of office fires. It's like, no, come on, you're treating us like idiot children. Or with the Jack Ruby thing, there's no need for any trial or justice now. That's the end of the story. That's all wrapped up with a nice bow now. No, nothing more to see here. Nonsense. No.
Yeah.
No. There must have been a conspiracy. There's no other way. It just doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense to think that it was Oswald acting alone. That he just had a chip on his shoulder, that Jack Kennedy was such a great man and he was such a loser. And he just wanted to be famous for being an assassin. It doesn't add up. It doesn't make any sense. Let alone the fact that it was the back of John Kennedy's head that was blown out, and everyone at Parkland Hospital attests that. Never mind that.
Well, I mean, you can see that the shot comes from the front, the kill shot. You know,
the back of his head was blown out. All the doctors said it was like a baseball-sized hole in the back of his head.
Yeah,
but there were definitely shooters shooting from behind, probably from the book depository. One of the shot that went through Kennedy's throat, that then goes through Connolly, that was coming from behind. It went down through the trajectory. Don't worry about the jump seats and the magic bullet turning in the air. That's all been explained. There were inset jump seats in that Lincoln. But the bullets were coming from behind and from the front. So simple as that. Simple as that. There's more than one shooter. I happen to think there must have been at least 3 shooters, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
At least 7 shots rang out from at least 2 different angles. Sorry, I'm talking over you, Lance. You go.